do a witch in quarantine hashtag. This isn't working. Hang on. Witch in quarantine hashtag. Brittany over at Palm Tree Bewitchery did this hashtag, and I've been wanting to do it for a couple of weeks now, and so I'm finally doing it. I'm going to share some vulnerable witchy realness coming up next. Hi guys, welcome to the Witch's Studio. I missed you guys so much. If you're new here, this isn't really the same as a lot of my videos. I'm usually coming back once a week with spells, witchy tips, and tricks. If this is the kind of thing that you're into, definitely hit that subscribe button and make sure you ring the notification bell, because that way you'll know as soon as I upload new videos. So it's been a minute. So this is kind of weird. We're coming up on the 1 year YouTube-versary. Tubiversary? Anyway, my first video was like 2 days before Beltane last year. And that just seems kind of hard to believe because we've come a long way. If you had told me that a year from shooting that first video that I would be sitting here on the daybed in my studio talking with you guys about what I'm doing during quarantine because there's a worldwide pandemic going on, I would not have believed it, because this has all been really surreal. But there you have it. That's the world that we're living in right now. Brittany over at Palm Tree Bewitchery did a video a while back, and it's a witch in quarantine questions that she had, and a tag. 10 questions about what you're doing in quarantine. And when I first saw her video, I wanted to do it. I thought, yeah, that's really cool. And man, I'm just going to be real with you guys. I'm just going to be straight up real with you guys. And usually we just like to get down to some cool witchery and stuff like that. But I'm going to be honest. This has been a really hard time. And I'm not by any stretch of the imagination the only person in the world that's feeling this way. I realize a lot of people are feeling this way for some of the same reasons, and for about 1,000,001 different reasons too, because every single person who's going through what we're going through right now is doing it in their own way, is handling it in their own way, and has their own individual challenges that they're facing through this. And I'm no exception. I wasn't sure if I was going to talk to you guys about this, and I'm just going to go into it briefly though. One of my things is I actually started therapy December to work through some past trauma, and from some messed up relationships and stuff that I've had in the past. I'm really blessed right now. I have really good, awesome, supportive people in my life, and that's great. And one of them is my therapist. The reason that I wanted to mention this is because I know that a lot of people are really struggling right now, and I think it's important to understand and realize that it's okay to go and get help if you need it. You can even get help right now when it seems like, you know, you feel like you cannot go and talk to a therapist or find somebody because, you know, we're supposed to be social distancing. I haven't missed a therapy appointment since all this started because we've been doing video chats. So who knew that my YouTube skills that I've learned on this journey that I'm on with you guys would help also with this other stuff that I'm dealing with. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot of good online resources. I'll drop a few down below for you guys. And don't hesitate. If you're feeling things are hard for you right now and you're really feeling things, go find somebody to talk to. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. In fact, that's what a mature and responsible person does in their life, is they go get help instead of just pretending like everything's okay, even when it's not. And being vulnerable and not being afraid to show that soft underbelly, even if it's just to a therapist, that can be really life-changing. So, you know, definitely do that if you really feel like you need to. So anyway, yeah, I took a little bit of time away from YouTube because all of this, quite frankly, everything happening has been really hard. So anyway, I've got some notes here and I'm going to go through and answer these. There's only 10 questions. I'll put the questions down below too. So if any of you guys want to answer them anywhere online, really, it doesn't matter if you don't have a YouTube channel, you can just answer them on your Facebook page or in an Instagram post or something like that. Or you could do like 10 posts, you know, one for each answer. That could be kind of fun or whatever. So you can play along too. Or if you have a YouTube channel and you want to play along, definitely do that, because I don't know, it's kind of a nice way for us to update each other and get an idea of how other people are managing through this, and that helps us to manage too. The first question is, an herb that you've used the most during quarantine. Lavender and chamomile. Lavender and chamomile, everything. I'm spritzing it on myself. I put some oil, and you know how I do, oil and water and vodka. Should probably be drinking the vodka. You know, in a little spritz, just to keep me like feeling, all right, everything's okay. Everything's okay. And then like at night, this is my go-to. Man, that's the stuff. So I drink that at night. I'm like steeped in lavender and chamomile right now. The other one, you guys, is when all of this started, I could already see this coming down the pipe. Things were gonna be what? Everybody else was hoarding toilet paper? Not Mickie. No, your girl was hoarding tension tamer tea. This is my go-to in the daytime. If I start to have anxiety, this stuff really helps me a lot get through it. So yeah, I figured I'd let you guys in on that little secret. Favorite stone or crystal to hold during quarantine? This is why I had to mention that I'm doing, you know, all these other looking inside shadow work, facing my demons, vanquishing them, some of them not so much, but working on all of that, because the stones that I've been carrying are the same stones that I've been carrying since December when I started doing therapy, because I was like, okay, yes, no man, let's just do this, because with everything in the world, the state of things, all my emotions are like right on the surface. So I'm like, I might as well deal with my crap, right? The stones that I've been using is this little guy, which is a carnelian. And yeah, I've been using this before anyway. He's a little bat. I love my little bat. And this little dude's been helping me out a ton. Hold on, let me see if I can show you his little face. His little face up front. Look at his little face. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Mickey's bat, just hanging out. Oh my God. Maybe I do get outside more often than I realized before all of this happened. Because, oh my God. I ordered this little guy a while back because, you know, I've got all these things that I'm working on. And then also I had a hysterectomy 2 years ago due to cervical cancer. Anyway, so I've been working on my lower chakras a lot. Carnelian for my sacral chakra. And which also, if you look at the image of a sacral chakra, it looks like a crescent moon, and it's all about water and, you know, lunar. It's for courage, motivation, dispelling apathy, and is also associated with the sacral chakra. And then bats are associated with the moon, and good for working through stuff in dreams, which I've been doing that a lot. Seeing the unseen, and journey work and breaking through illusions. Working with bats is also good for dealing with grief. And a lot of the emotions that we're feeling right now are all tied in with grief and anticipatory grief as well, because we're, you know, waiting for the other shoe to drop, not sure what's going to happen, what the future holds, and it's all anticipatory grief. If you guys want to know a little bit more about that, again, there's an article I'm going to drop below that I think you might find interesting. When I read it, it really resonated with me, and it might resonate with you too. I Love Lotus's Etsy store is where I found this little guy, and I'll put the link down there for you guys if anybody else wants a little carnelian bat like mine. The other stone that I've been working with is garnet, and you know, working with that for my root chakra, and your root chakra is all tied in with like feelings of safety, health, for cleansing all of your chakra system and bringing serenity to your emotions. So I was like already working with these stones before all this happened. So I'm like, okay, you're my guys. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. And so we're just going to keep going. Eventually, I actually want to turn this guy into either a necklace or a bracelet, perhaps. I just haven't gotten around to it because, oh my goddess, when am I going to do that? So I've been storing them in this little bag, and this has my little fearless sigil on it, and I like storing them in a bag because these are pocket stones for me. I like to carry them in my pocket. I also put them in the pocket of my pajamas when I go to sleep. If they fall out of my pocket, it's way easier to find a pouch than it is to find one little stone, and I don't want to lose these because they're really important to me. And you saw that one garnet's really small, and so yeah. Number 3, have you done any spells during quarantine, and what were they? Protection work, healing work, nonstop. That's the only spells that I've been doing, other than like cleansing my space, you know, and I have definitely been doing that, but that's pretty much all that my focus has been on, you know. And I'm not usually doing big spells either. When I do my cup of tea, I enchant my tea, and I just very simply, you know, trace a pentagram around it. I do Reiki, so I also will do the Reiki symbols and push them into it, and that is all. That is all that I'm doing. I'm a flame keeper for the goddess Bridget, and she's not the only goddess that I work with, but she's one of them. On my last flame keeping day, I was guided very heavily to offer healing work for other people, and I posted it on the community tab here on YouTube and all over my social media because I didn't know who needed it, but somebody needed it. I knew somebody needed it, so I just put it out there because she was not going to leave me alone. I could not go make dinner until I posted this because she was like, you need to do this. And when a goddess speaks, I freaking listen. So I did that, and so I hope that helped some people out. I will probably do some more stuff like that in the future going forward because I think we all need it. We all need healing of every darn kind we can think of right now. So, most listened to song, artist, or music during quarantine. Okay, this one is giving me life because for a while there, I was really feeling down, and then to bring myself back out of it, I started listening to Stevie Nicks. But I wasn't just listening to her music. First of all, I started listening to her music and singing along with it because I'm like a huge Stevie fan. I have an autographed portrait that I did of her around here somewhere. I'll see if I can find it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but if I can, I'll put a picture here on the video. But anyway, she's my hero, and has been for a lot of my life. So not only listening to her music, but also listening to interviews. I found a bunch of interviews with her on YouTube, and I've just been like, just listening to her talk about things, it just makes me feel good, and I feel like it brings me some perspective, and it kind of started to lift me out of the the muck and the mire. I guess there's always muck with mire. There's never just mire or muck. It's, oh, they're always together. It's like they're in cahoots. So anyway, listening to Stevie's songs, singing along with her gives me life. And then listening to her interviews has been really healing for me. And then I also have a Pandora channel that I kind of created that I love listening to, and I think it's just called like Happy Music or something. I think that's what I called it. But it's like She and Him, which is Zooey Deschanel's group, Madeline Perot, Jack Johnson, Florence and the Machine, stuff like that always comes on that, and it's always stuff I you know, sing along to, and it makes me smile. And that's what I've been listening to over the last several days, and I found that's helping me even better than watching comedies, is just having that music playing all the time. And when I'm doing dishes, I've got the earbuds in and I've got the music playing, and it's just like lifting my spirits. Music has always been a really important part of my life, and so I find that it's healing me somewhat. So yeah. Favorite go-to foods during quarantine? We're way stocked up here. We actually started stocking up long before everybody was doing all this, because we kind of saw it coming. I was all like, man, I don't know. I think we need to stock up the freezer, because we got a big chest freezer. And so little by little I started stocking up stuff. But here's the thing. We earn what we earn, basically. And I didn't have, you know, any extra income coming in to purchase enough food to fill up my freezer. So what I stocked it up with was a lot of stuff like turkey hot dogs, chicken breasts. I would buy the big packs and just separate them out, because they're pretty big chicken breasts. I can usually make a meal out of 1 or 2 of those if I add it to other stuff, you know, make something cheap like pasta or rice, and I cut that up and add it to that. So some of the pasta dishes I've made were pretty good. And the other problem is, you know, I'm gluten-free and dairy-free because of my autoimmune disorders. What isn't wrong with me? My goodness. I, for the most part, invented a recipe for some penne pasta carbonara, which is gluten-free and dairy-free, and it's so good. And I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of put it all together. I'm like, this should work. I looked up a couple recipes that people had. I wasn't happy with them, so I basically took what they had and just changed it and turned it on its ear and was like, well, this should work. And I threw all the stuff in together. I have the guys sprinkle Parmesan on theirs, but there's no Parmesan cheese in it. Because I can't have the dairy, and I want the dairy, but I can't have the dairy. But that carbonara turned out so freaking good that I would say that has probably been my favorite dish that has come out of the experimenting and cooking with what I have on hand as far as comfort food. Number 6, how many rolls of toilet paper do you have left? Okay, so we did not hoard toilet paper. We were not those people. Of all the things that we really needed, people dealt with life before there was toilet paper. What we really needed was to make sure we had food. So I was buying turkey bacon and chicken and frozen vegetables and rice and stuff like that. And again, wasn't hoarding that either. I was, you know, getting what I would normally get and then a little extra. And I was doing that every week until we were filled up, so that I wasn't taking from everybody else. But yeah, no, we did not hoard toilet paper. Usually I get the big 16 pack just because I hate going back to the store all the time. We keep it in the closet. This time I bought two 16 packs, and that was enough. That was enough. I didn't need a cart full of toilet paper. I wasn't going to hit old ladies over the head to get it. So no, I got 2 16 packs of toilet paper. I put them in the closet. We burned through one, but I shouldn't say burned through, because, you know, we were conserving it, and, you know, I guess nobody was wrapping their hand in it or anything or throwing it out the window. I went back and, you know, opened up the second pack, and I was like, okay guys, you know, we're down to our last pack, our last 16 pack, so just do what you've been doing, make it last, you're doing great. And then the next time I was at the store to pick up little essentials like, you know, milk and eggs and stuff like that, one of my very favorite cashiers and I've got quite a few of my favorite cashiers actually, but one of my favorite Aldi told me, hey, Mickie, check around the corner, there's toilet paper. And I was like, so I grabbed one 16-pack, put it in my cart, and I was happy to have it. And I left the rest for other people because we don't need to be that way. I don't think that's necessary. I think that the best way that we will get through this is to have compassion in our hearts and care about other people too. Yes, get what you need and we got what we needed to last a month in case everything went crazy and they were like, you can't leave your house because we don't know what's going to happen, right? So we made sure we had enough stuff to last us for a month, and I'm trying to keep that replenished so that, again, who knows what happens. If we have a huge outbreak in my town, we can stay in. Plus, we're trying to stay in as much as possible because we're running our Etsy store, and I want to make sure that we're safe. That way we're safe for all of our customers too. So all of that is a really important factor. But yeah, I probably have... between the 16-pack that I just bought and the other one that's a partial, I think I have like 22 rolls of toilet paper, and that's okay with me. If a neighbor came knocking, I would share my toilet paper with them. Number 7, how are you mentally holding up? That's a loaded question. There's good days and there's bad days. Let's face it. Some days, and you know what? I could come on here and tell you guys, I'm doing great. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. But I'm not going to do that. And here's the reason why. We all need to know that everybody's struggling, okay? It's normal to struggle. It's human to struggle. And it's okay to struggle. And you don't have anything to feel ashamed of if you're struggling, because you know what? If you're struggling right now, if you're having emotionally hard time right now, all that means is, guess what? You're paying attention. And that's the truth. So yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There are some days when I have a bad day and the whole day is a bad day. There's some days when I'm having a really good day and everything feels good, and then the bottom drops out and I'm like done for the rest of the day. You know, there's some days that are good days where I'm like, wow, we got through a day that was a good day. And that's awesome. If you live in a place where you can get out and go for a walk, definitely do that. I found that helps me a lot. It might help you too. Just seeing green helps. Seeing the trees helps. If you're in a place where you can get out in nature, we are blessed that they haven't closed all of the parks in the area. So we have 2 parks in our area that we can go to. One is a smaller park, and when we go there, we steer way around the other people. Whether they choose to or not, that's on them, but we steer clear. And then the state park, Merrimack State Park, is open, and so we've been able to go out there and walk around a little bit, which is really nice. So if you're in a place where you could get outside, definitely get outside because it is helpful. Reach out to people on social media if you can't, you know, if that's all you've got, that's better than nothing. And again, you know, I'm going to drop a couple links for stuff below. If you're really feeling it and you feel like I need somebody that I can talk to about this, there's free resources, mental and emotional help right now. And I'll let you guys, I'll put them down below for you. We will get back to being able to be around people again, but it is going to take time, and that's just part of it. Number 8, quarantine hobbies. Did you gain one? Hobbies. I wouldn't call it a hobby. I have been sewing masks. A lot of you guys are new to this being home all the time thing. This is not new for me. Dan and I, this is our daily life. I've realized that what everybody else calls quarantine, this is just our daily life. Those of you who are at home, you're getting a taste of what our world is like pretty much all the time. Although the stress is way higher. I mean, we're usually kind of chill and everything, but our stress level is like right about here, you know, just like I'm sure everybody's feeling. Just knowing what's happening in the world. Being home day in and day out and working from home and all of those things, that's standard operating procedure for us. That's something that we're really used to. A lot of people have extra time on their hands while they're at home right now. Dan and I do not. Our shop is still going. So we have, you know, orders and stuff to take care of and manage every day. And then I decided that I needed to make masks for everybody. My daughter Brittany has made, I think, 200 masks at this point. She's made a ton of masks that she's donated to hospitals in her area who were happy to have them. And she said she made them with the intention of believing that hopefully they wouldn't be needed, that they would have proper PPE. But yeah, they ended up using them and being really glad they had them. She made some really good masks. So I started making masks as well. And all of the masks that I'm sewing, I'm donating as well. This is what mine look like. They're pretty cool. This was the first one that I made. And you guys, I didn't have any fabric. I'd ordered some, but I was waiting for it. And as you know, everything seems like it's shipping super slow right now. So I went around the house when they came down and they were like, everybody needs to be wearing masks now. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I went around the house to find every scrap of fabric that I had so I could start making masks just for family, you know, just so we would have them, and for some family members that couldn't sew. This used to be a small altar cloth. And this was the first one that I made for me because I felt like, okay, then I need masks right now more than I need an altar cloth. And they were all made out of cotton, which is like the material they're telling you to craft these out of and everything. I made it so that it has an opening in the back so that I could put filters in there. I didn't know what kind of filter I was going to make and so what I was going to use. So yeah, it was a whole thing. I lost count. I don't know how many I've made, but I've made them for family members. And we had a lot of extended family that can't sew and didn't have any way to get masks. So I made like a ton to send to them. I'm making them for some of the essential workers in the area. When I get finished with the ones for the post office and for my son's work, he goes back to work on the 4th because I live in Missouri. And that's what our governor decided was the best idea, is that let's just all go back to work. So that's happening. So yeah, I'm making masks for everybody at his work. And then the next thing that's coming is I'll be making masks for people in healthcare and donating them because unfortunately there's a lot of people who still don't have proper PPE. I was really blessed. One of my customers, Angela over on Etsy. Thank you, Angela. You're a gem. She's actually sent me a huge box full of fabric. So now I'm not wanting for fabric. I have tons of fabric for making these. She wanted to help out and didn't sew, but she had a big stack of fabric, and I was sewing but was running out of fabric. So she just popped that in the mail for me. So it was pretty amazing. And my sister Robin wanted to help, so she sent some funds to help with things like elastic and other supplies that were needed so that she could also chip in for helping people that really needed it. A lot of people were wanting to buy masks for me, and I wasn't selling those ones. For me, those just felt like the right thing to donate. Dan found really cool masks that are, they're poly, and they're just really simple, basically mask covers. These are not medical. Neither are the ones that I'm sewing. None of them are medical masks, obviously. But these days it's what you can get your hands on, basically, for everybody. But yeah, he found these really cool masks that we could dye sub on. So they were affordable for us to be able to get a bunch. So that even though I'm sewing masks to donate for, you know, the doctors and stuff and nurses, at least we had some masks that we could offer to our customers as well. And these are really neat because we can put all kinds of designs on them. So this is This is the first one that I made. They're really soft and nice, and I wish I could just wear this on its own, but for safety's sake, I'm wearing this over the top of the other mask. And I kind of like these better as mask covers than just as a mask by itself. And for me, Dan put one on and it fit him perfectly, but everybody's face is different, you know. But for me, it was a little loose and kind of slid down my nose when I tried to wear it without a mask underneath it. When I wear it on over a mask, it stays in place really well. I shortened mine just with a safety pin like that. Not super fancy, but I'll probably go ahead and hand stitch that, you know, to shorten it. But they're pretty easy to adjust and everything. And they're nifty. They're kind of cute. And I don't know, I feel like if I have to go out into the world and wear a friggin' mask on my face, I at least want it to look cute. So I guess it just makes you feel a little bit better about the state of things. You know, whatever it takes to get us through, I feel like. That's been my hobby during the quarantine, which isn't really much of a hobby. Number 9, read any good books during quarantine? I also have been reading some books. This first one is on my tablet because that's the version I got. And it is The Crooked Path, an introduction to traditional witchcraft. And this is by Keldon. I'll put a link to him up here. He's on YouTube and a hell of an author too. I'm really enjoying this book. I'll be doing a review of this book coming up in next month, hopefully, if I can start doing videos again instead of just like sitting in my pajamas. That's gonna happen. This is a great book. I've really been enjoying it, learning a lot about traditional witchcraft, which is a term that wasn't really around when I started on my path. I wish it were, because it actually describes closer to what my current practice actually is. So it's interesting to read, and I'm doing a lot of this. So I love books like that. The other one, Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear. And this is by Elizabeth Gilbert, who's the author of Eat, Pray, Love. And no, this is not a book about witchcraft, but it's a book about being creative. And I find for myself, and maybe some of you guys agree, that journey is the journey of the witch, because we are creative beings. Everything that we do is creative. And this book, oh my God, I'm going to be doing a review of this one too. Again, even though it's not a witchcraft book. She talks a lot in here about inspiration, about the ways that we become inspired, the ways that we stay inspired. I think I'm going to reread it again because it did really give me a lot of joy, and it's very uplifting. I love her writing style. And again, I'll go into that further down the road. And number 10, most lit incense during quarantine. Dude, frankincense. Frankincense is my saving grace. And I don't just burn sticks, but also I got some new frankincense in, and I just love to burn that on those little charcoal discs. And it just, for me, that is the most uplifting scent. Just the one I love during stressful times. And when the energy in the house gets really stagnant, I like to light the frankincense, and it clears everything out and makes everything feel a lot better. So that's been my go-to, my favorite one. This felt good talking to you guys and getting the chance to, you know, be a little vulnerable and share hopes, fears, life, you know. We're all part of it. I've loved this past year on YouTube has been wonderful. I've really enjoyed it. I've loved talking to you guys and meeting everybody. I've loved the conversations down in the comments. Drop me a comment and tell me how you guys are doing during the quarantine. I hope everybody's doing really good. as good as can be expected, and nobody's required to be any way other than what they are. And that's the important message. That's the takeaway, all right, is that we're all allowed to feel however it is that we feel, and that's okay, because we're all doing the best that we can. And some days the best that you can is going to change from the other day, and that's okay too. Just keep going, because we're all going to get through this together. We really are. Hearing your guys' input is fantastic, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So sorry I was away for a few weeks. I just had to take a beat, you know. Happy to be back, and ready to dig in to some more new spells and witchy tips and tricks and reviews and tarot stuff and all kinds of things. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Please hit the subscribe button if you did not. I'll see you soon, but until then, here's some more videos that I think you guys will really enjoy. I hope that you all are safe and have good health and happiness, and remember, as always, to be your magic. Bye guys, blessings.